We're in the middle of Air Canada's 40th anniversary of its Aeroplan frequent flyer program, and to celebrate it, Air Canada is offering a few promotions for its Aeroplan members. These end July 17th, so not a lot of time. One of these offers is a 40% points boost in the first 40 days from when you open a new Chase Aeroplan credit card. And with this slight needle mover and how I've been intrigued with the card for the past few years, I think I'm finally ready to apply. It's one of the best airline cards out there in my opinion, but at the same time, it's also missing a crucial component that could make it a perfect airline card. Let's build the case for the Chase Aeroplan card being one of the best airline cards and then turbocharge it with a hypothetical additional benefit. Airline credit cards around that $95 annual fee range, which is where the Aeroplan card sits, primarily establish their value proposition through the following key benefits: a free checked bag, priority boarding, and the opportunity to spend towards airline status. The Aeroplan card covers the first of those by offering a free first check bag for up to 8 people on the same reservation when checking in with Air Canada for a flight operated by Air Canada Rouge, or Air Canada Express. When you consider how a checked bag costs $35 to $42 for economy travel between the US and Canada, this benefit alone can be well worth more than $95, but you have to be aware of its restrictiveness, especially if you're somebody who mostly travels US domestically on Air Canada's Star Alliance partner, United. Again, you need to be checking in with Air Canada, which I believe is rarely the case unless you're traveling to and from Canada. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this benefit has no value if you're solely a US domestic traveler. On to priority boarding, this is not something that's directly offered by the card, which limits its long-term value if that's something important to you. However, let me emphasize the words directly and long-term, as I mentioned that you will also get Aeroplan's lowest 25K status as a complimentary benefit until the next calendar year from when you apply for the card. With 25K status, not only will you get priority boarding on Air Canada flights, but also on United flights and select Lufthansa group flights. Though yes, you do have to spend $15,000 in a calendar year to keep 25K status each following year, or spend $50,000 to get the next higher tier 35K status, which means priority boarding is just a temporary benefit on the card unless you put those amounts of spend on it. I wouldn't recommend doing so, as that level of spend can be deployed towards more valuable sign-up bonuses on other credit cards, as well as for hotel free night certificates, like the one that you'll get from the Hilton Surpass card if you put $15,000 of spend in a year. So rounding things off, the Aeroplan card matches the key benefits offered by most other mid-tier airline credit cards, but with a few caveats. The free checked bag is not very useful unless you're somebody who flies to and from Canada, and priority boarding is just a temporary benefit that's offered from the complimentary 25K status. This complimentary status is pretty awesome and unique amongst airline cards, and there are opportunities to spend towards keeping or leveling up on that status. So keep in mind that the card doesn't give you access to statuses higher than 35K, which is arguably where the benefits start getting meaningfully better. How the Aeroplan card gets vaunted to be an almost perfect airline card is by offering things that aren't commonly offered by other airline cards, starting with the strong set of multipliers. 3x Aeroplan points for dining, grocery stores, and direct purchases with Air Canada, 1x on everything else, as well as 500 bonus points for every $2,000 spent in a calendar month, up to 1,500 points per month. On screen, we have the $95 United Explorer card, the $95 Advantage Platinum Select World Elite MasterCard, and the $150 Delta Gold card, as well as their multipliers. There isn't even a single instance of a 3x multiplier, while the Aeroplan card has 3x multipliers, 2 of which are no doubt everyday spend categories in dining and grocery stores. By the way, with that 40% points boost promotion that I mentioned earlier, you'll instead be receiving a pretty massive 4.2x multiplier on those three categories. Let's say I managed to spend $3,000 in the first month of holding the card exclusively in those three categories. Well, then I would receive 70,000 points from the sign-up bonus, 12,600 points from the multipliers, and 500 bonus points from spending $2,000 in a month, totaling 83,100 points. With this, you can take several domestic flights on United, which go for 6,000 to 22,500 points depending on distance, or you can unlock higher value from your points by traveling internationally on business class. For example, this New York to Frankfurt flight on Singapore Airlines that goes for 60,000 points one way. However, if redeeming your points through Air Canada doesn't quite fit your specific travel plans, or you're just not planning to travel much in the near future, then thankfully, this card does offer more flexibility in its redemption options compared to other airline cards through the pay yourself back feature. Currently, you can use the points to cover your $95 annual fee or travel expenses at a 1.25 cent per point value. The former can be regarded as pure cash, while the latter just covers a lot of different options related to travel, including car rentals, hotels, and flights with airlines outside of Air Canada. Do note that these two categories are only active until the end of 2024, and in 2025, we'll presumably get new categories. So, Mr. Card Nerd, what's crucially missing from the Aeroplan card? It's a strong earner, has pretty good redemption options, and comes with the bread and butter airline-related benefits on airline credit cards. Allow me to reveal the missing ingredient and also encourage you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I love making videos where we nerd out about credit cards, and those actions, all free for you, really help support the work that I do. Alright, so where I think the Aeroplan card falls short in its claim to perfection is in how it's just not a good keeper card, meaning there isn't a clear way to realize a negative effective annual fee. I know that many people regard other mid-tier credit cards as keepers simply for their free checked bag benefit, but do remember that the one on the Aeroplan card can only be really useful if you're flying to or from Canada, to my understanding at least. There is the $100 TSA PreCheck Global Entry Nexus credit every 4 years, but if you average that out to $25 a year, you realize you need more value from other benefits. Then what about the 10% bonus from transferring Chase Ultimate Reward points to Air Canada? Well, unless you can rack up a ton of UR points and transferring them to Aeroplan already best align with your organic travel plans, then the 10% bonus won't really move the needle. So, for me to start viewing the Aeroplan card as a perfect airline card, I think it needs to follow in the footsteps of notably the Delta Gold card or the Chase Sapphire Preferred card and add a statement credit. Yes, this may seem like an obvious and frankly trivial answer, but I assure you it's the best answer out there. And I will also say that the credit doesn't need to even be the easiest thing to use. The Delta Gold card is for $100 annually, but is only applicable on Delta stays, whereas the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit is for $50 annually and only applicable on hotels through the travel portal. I think we can mirror these on the Aeroplan card. For example, a $50 annual credit that's applicable on Air Canada or other Star Alliance flights, or a $100 annual credit on incidentals with Star Alliance Airlines. Now, if the last one ever came to be, I would really hope that you could use it on the United Travel Bag, just like you can with the incidental credit on the Amex Platinum or the Hilton Aspire. That would make the Chase Aeroplan card quite busted, at least for me. But what do you guys think? Are there other things that can be realistically added to the Chase Aeroplan card that would make it a perfect airline card? Or is it already good enough as it is now? Let me know below in the comments, and also check out these other videos on how you can get huge value from other major airline cards. Thanks so much for watching, and here's your card nerd signing off. Peace.